Now let's come to the African region. We just said that there are actually 54 entities which are members of UN, and they have an African Union where all of these countries are members. The smallest of them, Comoros, the head of that is currently the AU president. So he was welcomed G20 by Mr. Modi by hugging him. And so people started looking at which is this place, where it is. It's small islands, federation of these small islands. But be that as it may, it sends a signal throughout the world. The G20 embraces Africa. Second point is, Africa is being wooed. It was being silently wooed by China for the last 10 years at least, out under the BRI initiative, and a lot of infrastructure has been developed. Maybe there's a problem one or two places, or they have a problem of repaying the debt, but China has been adjusting, but Western media has made a lot of noise about it. Be that as it may, but that's the only country which has done the investments. And the investments are done by the banks or by the companies which do it. So the Kenya railway, dams, airports, ports. Now, corresponding to that, in G20, a proposal has been put up of transcontinental railway, starting with Lesotho, then going through various things in Zambia, which lands up. Now, the history of Africa is known to us in India from the 1930s, when Mahatma Gandhi was a barrister at law there, and how he was mistreated also. He couldn't get into the train in the first class, or so on. That's a matter of history. But from there, he is the one who sowed the seed, along with the others, of the African National Congress. And African National Congress is currently also the ruling party in South Africa. And one person was put in the jail for many, many years by the British, Mandela, who later on got Nobel Prize. Mandela had become the president after he came out of the prison to take over the management of the country. Now, Mr. Ramaphosa is also the same party. Everything is not hunky-dory, but he is the one who verbalizes things well. The others also do. And that verbalization, whole thing has been kind of increasing the pitch. A number of social media sites are there and channels are there who talk about the extreme exploitation in Africa. Extreme. From then, the days of slavery, so many million people were taken to various parts of the British Empire. At that time, USA was also not an independent country, but under the thumb of either French or the British. And these are the ones who have done the hard work to build these countries. Plantations, roads, whatnot. And imagine, ladies were not taken that much, a few were taken for breeding purposes. That they were without any family life also. There was also a system of indentured labor, where indentured Indian labor has gone, Trinidad, Tobago, and Papua New Guinea, and Guinea, there are many places like that. They have become prosperous, and they feel for India, and that connection is there. The East African Railway was made after Indian Railway had been almost done late 1800s by British companies, by Indian labor. Canadian Pacific Railway, the largest railway system in North America, or Canada at least, was made, where half of the labor was Chinese and half of the labor was Indian. And those Indian labor then came and started staying in Vancouver, where we see the Kharistani problem. This is the geopolitics. Now, the education was very limited, it is very limited. Medical facilities were very limited, they are very limited. Why? Actually, there are hardly any budgets with the government. And on one hand, billions of dollars worth of things like uranium and gold and oil are taken out. Very little comes back. And what comes back as loan. Mind you, that's the economic equations. And secondly, the process of democratization, democratic values has not set in because effort has not been made. Just to say democratic election does not mean much. And we know in countries like India what does it mean. Not everybody accepts that idea of democracy. Be that as it may, in last 10 years, there have been 23 coups. 23. And there are few counter coups also. Then we come to this Sahel region and Western African region. So, Western African region has got Nigeria also into it, which is a rich country with poor people. ECOWAS has population 330 million people, equal to USA. So last couple of years, the Africans, professors, teachers have been verbalizing this. That why don't these guys leave? They say, but we are not colonial power. And then they explain, which we will also explain in a link, that how our money is controlled. Central bank are not there. In this Sahel region, CFA franca is there, and all the excess of our dollars, excess of our income, foreign exchange income goes there, Paris, and 50% gets grabbed. Then there is something like another 25%. So 25% money they can withdraw from there. More than that, if they want to withdraw, they will have to take it on interest. So this is a system of exploitation. So within this Sahel area, therefore, if we talk about last 2-3 years, they are part of the ECOWAS, but not developing, and has the best raw material resources. French did not allow Chinese to bring any infrastructure investment in the area. Why? For every investment in this Francophone area, 14 countries, permission of France has to be taken. Or permission of French government has to be taken. Only if a French company does not want to do something, some other company may be considered, but hardly anybody gets considered. Now, next point. Next point is that younger people have kind of revolted. And they have taken these palace guard in charges into confidence, not even the main military heads, and done bloodless coups in Mali, Burkina Faso, Gabon, and Niger. Now, Niger is the current case study because about 45 days ago it was done. They have not killed the president, they have kept him in comfort. They're not allowing anybody to meet. USA says release him and bring back his government. People don't want it. They are out on the streets by thousands, tens of thousands. The military junta says they have already made a civilian government, but they say there will be election within 1.5 years proper. France says you restore that man. Now, what is the interest of France, by the way, in restoring a man? You talk about just some theoretical values about what you do in colonial days. Then go and do whatever you want. We don't want that agreement. We have not taken anything from you. You have taken everything from us. Now look at it again from the point of view peace dividend. On one hand, you can say ECOWAS will attack you militarily. French will attack you militarily. USA will attack you militarily. Okay? These fellows will not bend down now. They will need weapons. Where will they get the weapons from? So they'll go to Russia or China. What else? They don't have any money. Should they bend down therefore? Then it's so very easy that we should remain a post-colonial society. So, if there are men among them, they will work it out. And the very point that they can all get together, okay, the French and the Americans will not dare to make military intervention. Why? Because today it's not a matter of quietly talking something and all that. Very soon it comes out, it's in the social media. Because when Victoria Nuland, Deputy Secretary, Department of State of US, went to Niger meaning that particular city close by to the capital, and asked this fellow, the military Janta person, to come and meet along with his cabinet. Say, who are you? You want to come and meet us? Going further. Now, support-wise, G7 eyes closed will support France. On the other hand, Meloni, the Italian Prime Minister, openly has been saying that France has been exploiting them and they should get out. In other words, now no more that kind of solidarity. Why should America interfere in that? What is its interest? Except to say that it is part of their West. But French have not been mistreated. French have mistreated them for 100 years. They have not mistreated the French. If this thing goes through and they have their, Burkina Faso has already started roads and airport and schools and colleges and all that, whatever money they are getting. Obviously, Russia is giving them money for that. Openly they said, or Russia also said, we'll give you food grains if you have a shortage, because these are landlocked. Now come to the next step. That yesterday, while Mrs. Zelensky was talking about Russia being this and that and so on and so forth, all the bad names, Russia brokered a deal, peace deal, of a fight which has started day before yesterday. Now, which is this? And what is the implication for India, by the way? Armenia and Azerbaijan. Earlier, these two used to be part of the USSR. They are touching on Armenia is touching on the boundary of Iran. And our north-south corridor, which I keep on speaking, which starts from Chabahar and goes via, that means Iran and then via Armenia. Where it is supposed to go, there is an enclave. I always forget the name, or I can't pronounce the name of that. I just say in short, NK. Small enclave, 120,000 people. They've had two wars between Armenia and Azerbaijan at that particular place because of that small enclave. Now, what is the issue? And our railway is supposed to pass through Armenia, beautiful place, to Moscow and then to St. Petersburg, and have this particular corridor. Now, 120,000 people are there. It is part of Azerbaijan, okay, when that division took place, when the USSR transferred them. So, ethnicity is Armenian. Now, on the Iran side of Armenia, there are also Armenians in a majority. So, Iran has a problem. Now, their fight is that they want to be independent, they don't want to be part of Azerbaijan. So, two wars on that. A third war erupted day before yesterday, and in no time, Russia was able to broker a peace ceasefire. It's not that Russia by itself is a bad guy, but supposing USA would have interfered there, the problem would be different. If we're interested in peace, why should we interfere? And poor chaps are stuck, their ethnicity is Armenian, but you are part of this is, you can say, Kashmir problem also, or similar problems also. But they can be sorted out. They can be sorted out if there is a little open-heartedness about people. But if you have had two wars, you become. So in India, what happened? 1962, we had a war with China. Let's forget about it, whose fault. Why? Because the boundary which is there in the maps is not the boundary on the ground. The ground is of a very different kind. We've had military commissions. Even now, every now and then there is a small skirmish and we blow. But what happens then? What happens? I know personally, I was young enough or old enough, that 1960 war meant lots and lots of our budget went towards military. Partly the reason was that we didn't even have warm clothing to fight a war at that height during those days. So people were shivering. What fight will they make? Their fingers were frozen. And the weapons which are not tuned to that kind of temperature, ammunition which is not tuned to that temperature, tents which are not tuned to that, and so on. So the major portion of our disposable budget got allocated to the armed forces, with the result of our education and health and everything had suffered. Same thing I start telling my Pakistani friends. What if there was no conflict between Pakistan and India? Who will benefit? They say, of course, Pakistan will benefit because we are trying to compete with you. You are so many times bigger than us. You have so many times more technology than us. And we are trying to compete with you. With the result that there is hardly any money left for anything else. Money is there only for the army and all the equipment. See the point? And they all realize, but they can't speak. They can't speak. So there is that economics of peace. We had formed an association called SAARC, in which Bangladesh and Pakistan, Afghanistan and so on were there. But because Pakistan does not see eye to eye, same thing in SCO, they don't see eye to eye. Everywhere they go, every UN meeting, irrespective of what it is, every meeting, they will start talking about Kashmir. Nobody talks about Pakistan in Kashmir. Nah. They say, "These fellows should not come anywhere near us. They can't manage anything, even flour, atta, roti is not available in that country. What will they do? They will only suck our blood." And they're right. Kashmiris don't want Pakistanis. Just a small group of people who also youngsters without jobs, who get sort of sidelined and pick up arms. They make money also. But there is nothing about philosophy. So peace is a continuous process. What Gandhiji said in South Africa, the South Africans keep on repeating. Therefore, South Africa is a much better democracy, not ideal, than any other democracy in Africa. So peace is a continuous effort, reminding to people that peace matters, reminding to people that peace is good for everybody. Armed conflicts are bad for everybody. Europe got destroyed in World War II. USA did. They got destroyed. Russia also got destroyed. Korean fight, both of them got destroyed, but just with hard work, Korea came up. So here a final point, that now there are new types of arrangements which are being made. Arrangement of security in Saudi Arabia was a forcible thing, when they can also told them, that is the senior Saud, who set up the Saudi Arabia, that you deal only with or in dollars, so that's why the name petrodollars, and we will give you a security umbrella. So they have the bases there and so on and so forth. So just again last week, they have worked out to have a security pact, USA that is, security pact, just on the lines of what they have with Japan and Korea. So we should, you should remember, of course they are exploring, the pact is not yet there in, that within Asia, Japan and Korea and Taiwan have watertight security agreements. The rest kind of depends. But luckily, the ASEAN group is, they're minor issues, but they don't have wars. So besides the Vietnam War and this and the Burmese dictatorship, which has created a problem in Myanmar, they're not wars. Now, to the extent ASEAN has had peace, they're growing. They are the new tigers now. Economically, they are growing. They are the new tigers. They don't emigrate that much also. Philippines, the ladies go for nursing profession, etc., or shipping. A lot of them, doesn't matter. But they are happy now where they are. They are not running to European countries and USA. So it will be much better to have our free trade agreement in these zones. Numbers again, I'm not going into. And have peace, including the Taiwan issue. Why does that issue bother us in Asia, for example? Why should it bother? As long as China does not use military prowess, they did not use military prowess for taking back Hong Kong from India, or they did not throw out people, so on. Why do we just keep on criticizing unnecessarily? So I will stop with Kishore Mehbubani's thing that all the objective conditions are in favor of peace. All the objective conditions are in favor of Asia becoming a leading continent. I am adding that we should consciously help the African continent. BRICS is a very good mechanism because of which connection South America through Brazil, which is the largest country, South Africa, China, India, Russia, and now we'll have Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Ethiopia, UAE, and so on. So the capital is also there, the need is there, the market is there, and then you have a tie-up with African Union. So most likely, as Mr. Dullah said yesterday in the United Nations, that IMF and World Bank either should reform, or BRICS Bank becomes the strategic alternative. He says, I don't see any other choice. That will be the peace dividend. Thank you very much.